The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my left, we have a man that really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
Yeah, welcome to True School Sports. As I was drinking that coffee or cup of tea or whatever you're drinking today, let's go and talk some boxing.
So listen, guys, we're going live earlier today. We're not going to make this a 2-hour live. This will probably be an hour to hour and 10 minutes at most. But we're going live early today because me and Pops are going to the Florida Panthers game tonight. You know, shout out to the greatest show on ice since Disney on Ice, the best team in the NHL, the number one seed in the NHL. Me and Pops, I'm taking my dad to the Panthers game. We've been wanting to go for a long time, so we're not going to be live tonight at a normal time. So we figured, you know what? Since we're not going live at our normal time, we come live and talk to the people in the afternoon and just keep the streets fed, keep things going here on True School Sports. You know. So if you're watching the playback, smash the like button. If you're watching it live, smash the like button and comment. You know, it's not going to be on long live, but yeah, you know, Josh Taylor Appreciation Week rolls on. For those that know and for those that don't know. Josh Taylor is fighting Catterall this Saturday, and we'll be live for it. And we're going up Tampa on Friday for a card. So it's a lot of things going on here on True School Sports. But yeah, no live tonight. This is the live for today because we're going to the Panthers game, the Florida Panthers hockey game, the greatest show on ice since Disney Nights, the greatest hockey team on planet Earth right now. So we're really excited about that. But yeah, Pops, any opening statements before we get into the boxing talk?
Oh, I'm just ready to talk boxing and let's get it on.
So yeah, let's get it on, man. So look, in honor of Josh Taylor Appreciation Week, because you know, top ranked boxing, the fine folks over there ain't so fine right now. You know, they're not really promoting them the way they should. So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, I'm gonna talk about Josh Taylor as many ways as possible. And I wanted to take this time to appreciate the man's amateur exploits, the man's amateur boxing career. So, you know, let's go through it. For those that know, for those that don't know, let's go through the career of Josh Taylor, and let's look at some of the guys that he fought, that he lost to, that he came up short against. You know, Josh Taylor was an Olympian. He was a good fighter. He did represent. He was an Olympian, but you know. And by the way, I see the comments. So if you guys got comments, keep them coming. I will get to the comments in like 5 to 10 minutes after I get through Josh Taylor's amateur career. But I see you, Bush Beer Box community, and I see you, Christian Lewis. Shout out to you guys. But Josh Taylor is going through his amateur exploits and his amateur resume. Okay, you know, so one guy that he fought in 2009 was the Welsh Wizard. You know, a top fighter from Matchroom. He lost to him in points at the 2009 British Youth Championship. So obviously back then Josh Taylor was a young lad. He was a young kid. Fighters get better. Fighters, you know, they mature over time. But Cordina's a hell of a fighter. He might be actually fighting for a world title very soon.
Wow,
he might be fighting Ogawa soon.
And he lost to him?
Taylor lost to Cordina. Cordina was high level. You know, he lost to him. Who else he lost? He lost to Martin Ward, which is kind of crazy. He lost to who else? He lost to a bunch of guys. He lost to a bunch of guys before he really broke through and became a top class amateur. He lost to Daniel Ilusinov, who a lot of guys lost to Daniel Ilusinov in the amateurs. He was a gold medalist twice, I believe. So, you know, no shame there. Lost him at the AIBA World Championship preliminaries. Then he beat Jeff Horn. He beat Jamel Herring. He beat Anthony Iga. He beat a good string of guys in the amateurs, Josh Taylor. He then went on to beat obviously Consensao, a guy that would later go on to become a gold medalist. He beat him in the preliminaries, but Consensao went on to be a gold medalist. So, you know, beat him. He eventually actually scored a win himself, Josh Taylor, against where is it? I think he beat Lusinov. We saw it earlier.
Yeah.
I think he beat Lusinov himself. No, he lost to him here, but he think he beat him at some point. I could have swore. Oh no, he didn't beat Lusinov. Okay. Never mind, he didn't. But anyway, I'm saying all this to say that Josh Taylor is a damn good fighter, and people need to start talking about him more.
Let me ask you a question. Of all them guys now that beat him in the amateurs, do you think any of those guys in the professional level can beat him?
In the professionals?
Any of those guys he beat in the amateurs, do you think they have a possibility or even a slim chance to beat Taylor?
Horn wouldn't beat him. Herring wouldn't beat him. Yiget wouldn't beat him. Maybe Ilusinov.
Possible.
Because Ilusinov is pretty... You know what? Daniel Ilusinov, I really do feel for this guy. You know, he fought... Ilusinov fought when? I know his last fight was No, professional. Yulusinov's last fight was like in. Let me see. I know it was recent. He fought in December in a random card. He fought this guy for the WBO international title. But like Yulusinov, he needs to get more active. I really feel like if Yulusinov was active, he'd be. What are you talking about him more? We will be talking about Yulusinov in that top 15, top 10.
You think?
I think he could beat Josh Taylor.
You think it was a bad move from the league match, considering that Eddie Hearn?
He wasn't getting fights.
Oh, that's why it was.
He wasn't getting fights.
Oh, that's why he left.
He's still not getting fights. He wasn't getting fights with Eddie. Yeah. He's not getting fights without Eddie. So
he's a free agent.
No. I think he left his manager company. I'll make some phone calls. He's somewhere here in South Florida. I'll make some phone calls. We'll figure out what's going on with you.
You will pick him over Taylor?
I think you asked me the guys that I think could beat him. I think he'd have a great chance to beat Taylor.
A great chance, but not
an amazing chance.
An amazing chance?
Yeah, an amazing chance. You stuff is the truth.
Yeah. How about Cancelo?
Who?
Cancelo.
If
he moved up, yeah.
Well, he's a 30-pounder.
Okay, no.
So that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But Yulusov is the only guy that he beat or that lost to Taylor in the amateur.
What would you see in him that would expose Taylor? Because I think Taylor's not beatable.
Think he's unbeatable?
I think he's right now. He's fighting right now. The level he's
Nobody's unbeatable. He's very beatable. I like Taylor, but Taylor is beatable.
Not gonna get beat. He's strong Scottish. He's gonna come in there and he's gonna beat the fuck out anybody that gets in there. He got a full toolbox. What do you see in Yunus? What his name is?
Daniel Yulusov.
What do you see in him that give you that slight possibility, BT? There's something you see in him that makes you in your mind tick.
If he ever fought Josh Taylor, he would hands down be the most skilled southpaw he ever fought.
Oh, okay.
So it's a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. Has a great understanding of distance and timing, which I think you're gonna really need to beat a guy like Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor, if he's able to get on the inside and be that mean, spiteful fighter that he is, then your ass is grass. Consider yourself toast. So you asked me other guys he fought. I think Daniel Yulusov. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. For the fans to know also. That's why I said that.
But we're going to get our screen share here for a second before we go back. Shout out to everyone here. It's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire, the afternoon edition, because we're going to the Panthers game tonight. We're going to go watch the greatest show on ice since Disney on Ice, the Florida Panthers. The number one seed in all the NHL. So I'm really excited about it. It's been some years since me and Pop really went to a hockey game, and that's when we did it a lot growing up. So I'm excited about it. Bush Beer Boxing Community says Haney will embarrass George Kambosos. How you feel about that, Pops? You think Devin Haney gonna embarrass Kambosos if they fight?
Haney hasn't shown me shit, so no. I give him no credit. No, I don't see nothing with Haney. Haney talks a good game. Can I ask you a question? Haney talks a good game.
Can I ask you a question?
Do shit. He ain't beating the Emperor. He not beating the Emperor.
If Devin Haney goes in there and boxes a boring decision against George Kambosos, because I know you don't like to give him credit, would you give him credit for beating George Kambosos no matter how he did it, or would he have to dominate? Would he have to show you something?
I guess
is beating George Kambosos not showing you something?
I will give him respect because he went on the other side across the country, of the world, and actually went to a place that's very anal about all this other stuff going politically. First of all, I want to give my prayers to Ukraine. They're going through a war with Russia. A prayer for Lomachenko and Usyk and their families and everybody else there. But back to what I was saying. Haney, to me, if he goes over there and beats him, I just say it's in the judge's hand. But if he wants those belts, he's got to show me that he can dominate and knock the hell out of the Emperor. And I don't see that. I don't see that from Haney.
Listen, the name of the game is to win. Get how you live. Anyway, pivoting away from that. Christian Lewis says these live streams have been excellent recently. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, champ. We've been getting a lot. This is probably the most consistent I've been. Like going live every day on YouTube, maybe ever. Yeah, maybe ever.
What I said, the consistency, whatever. Consistent. My Spanish. Tiene que ser la cosa una rutina. You have to do things routine to get it.
Yeah, so I've gotten into a good routine, and we're gonna stay with it.
Thank you all.
And look, even on a day like we have a lot of things going on this week.
Yeah,
we're going somewhere later on tonight. We're still getting it in just to keep it going. So thank you, Christian. Josh Taylor is overrated. Porsche 911. You must be new to boxing. Porsche. So I'm gonna forgive you. He says Taylor is a 5'10" welterweight beating up 140 pounders. So when these guys like Jarrett Hurd and when Jarrett Hurd is really a 60 pounder beating up 54 pounders and a guy that's or what's his name?
Ben.
Who?
Conor Ben.
Conor Ben's pretty big. What about Jerron Ennis? He's pretty damn big. Do you say they're overrated or do you give them their credit? Because there's plenty of weight bullies in boxing. Do you say Spence is overrated? Because if you want to talk about weight bullies, Spence is walking around 180, fighting at 47.
You can say what you want, but he fought one of my favorite fighters in progress in the World Boxing Series, and those were supposed to be the best of the best, and he went in there and kicked some ass.
I mean, I like Crawford, right? I love Crawford, but were you saying that when Crawford was beating up on 35-pounders? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Josh Taylor is the truth, nothing but the truth. And if you look at everybody's undisputed run in the sport of boxing, you know, I would say he has the only undisputed run that is comparable to Usyk. You know, straight up, he's the only guy. I mean, if he beats Catterall this week, he's going to be the only guy in the sport that has actually went undisputed and defended the belts as undisputed champion. He'll be the first undisputed champion at 140 since Costa to make a defense if he does it. So I'm not trying to hear about he's overrated, he's this and he's that. He's many things. Josh Taylor's many things. He's skillful, he's mean, he's spiteful, he's tough, he's got balls that hang to his ankles, but he's not overrated. If anything, he's underrated. The fact that he's not talked up enough is underrated. You know, because there's so many fighters around the 140, 147, 135 pound division that are fucking overrated, like Devin Haney, like Ryan Garcia, like Danny Garcia, like a lot of guys. And you want to sit here and flap your gums and say, you know, it is what it is. I can't. It is what it is. Crawford moved up. He did move up, and Crawford's one of the best fighters in the sport. But don't come here and sit here and say that Taylor is overrated. Why? Because he's big and he's tall. So if we're gonna use that, right? If we're gonna say Josh Taylor's overrated, then we gotta keep that same energy for every fighter that ever existed in the history of the sport. So Thomas Hitman Hearns is overrated. Wow. Since Tommy Hearns was 6'1" and had tree trunk arms that could punch like a motherfucker, and he was 6'1" fighting at 147, he's overrated.
I would say Ed Too Tall Jones with the big defense.
He's overrated.
He was the defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. This Ed Too Tall, he's called Ed Too Tall Jones, was the defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys back in the 80s. Yeah. And he was 6'something, 6'11". Are you gonna say that? Are you gonna say Tyson Fury is overrated because he's tall? You can't just base it on that. Base it on skill.
Taylor can't be overrated when he clean out the division. He's literally doing what you ask. Like, it's funny because a lot of people in boxing say, "Oh well, when a fighter wins like one big fight, unifies," they say, "Oh, he cleaned out the division." Like when what's his name? When Andre Ward, right? I'll use Ward for example. They say he cleaned out 168, which isn't even true. He didn't fight Stieglitz, he didn't fight Butte, but they say he cleaned out the division. When Danny Garcia beat Lucas Batiste and Amir Khan, he didn't clean out 140. He still had to fight Victor Postal. He didn't want to fight Victor Postal. So that term cleaning out a division gets thrown around a lot for other fighters. But then when you get guys like Usyk and Taylor that actually really clean out a division, and I mean like they beat every champion, they beat every top contender, they leave no stones unturned to where you can't even criticize them. That's cleaning out a division, you know. So don't sit here and say he's overrated. Good comment, Vector. Johnny Boy, what's good, champ? He says, yeah, hit the like and drop the kid a super chat. Yeah, do that. Yeah, listen to Johnny Boy. Hit the like and drop the kid a super chat. Damn right.
Thank you, Johnny.
How old was Hearns when he was at 147? He was a lot younger than Taylor was now. I think Hearns is probably like in his early to mid 20s. But I'm just saying, keep that same energy. If you're gonna say, because you're the basis of your argument wasn't age. The basis of your argument was size and weight. Size for the weight class. You're saying he's a 47-pounder beating him on 40-pounders. So keep that same energy for every fighter in the history of the sport. Tommy Hearns is overrated because he's a 6'1" welterweight knocking everybody out. Keep the same energy.
Man, you look at Catterall's amateur record, see what he does, what he did.
Jack Catterall's amateur record.
Did he fight any?
I've never looked at it before. Vector 4 says I like that Catterall fight. Yeah, look. A lot of people are shitting on the Catterall fight, but listen, this is a guy in Catterall that has earned his way to mandatory position. He's waited a long time. If anything, we should really be thanking Catterall because if it wasn't for Catterall, we wouldn't have gotten the Ramirez-Taylor fight.
Man, shout out to him.
He stepped aside.
And he put his selfish, like a lot of boxers, I'm not saying all, not all, but most, the selfish greed aside and say, you know, I'm going to sacrifice this. Wait a minute.
Go on.
I'm going to sacrifice this, take the, but he sacrificed his time. He could have been selfish and said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna be a dickhead and I'm gonna get in the middle and I'm going to be the one that's going to stop this, and I'm going to just go ahead and fight Taylor, and he's going to have to go through me before he gets to fight Ramirez. But he didn't do that. He was a good sportsman, and he won by like he got 2 paychecks plus a chance to be undisputed. So what more do you want? So respect to British boxing, put respect on Catterall, because I like him. I just don't like him. He's going to win this fight, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's good.
He's amateur. So you anybody good?
Let's take some time to look at Jack Catterall, because we got to give all these fighters respect.
Yeah.
You know, God, these fighters put in a lot of work in the gym. They put their lives on the line for the sport. They put in a lifetime's worth of work. We shouldn't be disrespecting him now. On Box Trick, it says the only guy he fought was
only one guy.
No, he fought more people than this, but
it's
the only one on Box Trick. Andy Cole. Okay, so I don't know much, but
at least we want to look anyways. But yeah, so just the physical fact that Catterall and Taylor's not sleeping on Catterall.
No,
and I wouldn't either, because he's gonna come and give a tough fight to Taylor. Like I said, the only thing I see from Catterall that I think is gonna be his worst enemy is if he launches with that left, Taylor's gonna time him.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Look, he's 26-0. He's undefeated. He's never lost a fight in the professional ranks of the sport. And he's fighting for the undisputed championship of the world. So you got to think, right? You got to assume that we're going to get a very desperate, very game, very determined, very hungry Jack Catterall, because he's undefeated and he's fighting for undisputed. That combination can prove to bring out the absolute best.
Do you see like any slight chance or anything that Taylor can be exposed that Catterall can go ahead and take advantage of? Anything? Any slight weakness?
The only problem that Taylor has is that sometimes, like as tall and as big as he is for the weight, I don't think he uses his range enough.
Okay.
But
will it be a problem in this fight?
Sometimes he gets lured into a fight. Okay. And that almost got him to be like Prograde almost wound up beating him because of that. Right. So I think that's why he got with Ben Davis, and Ben Davis is gonna try to keep him more technically sound on the outside.
So
but he's still gonna be he's still gonna be the mean spike with Josh Taylor. He's just gonna try to.
So you're saying to me, if I'm just saying for the fans' sake. So you're saying to me, if Taylor doesn't keep his distance from Catterall, he might have a slight chance to get something.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's not a foregone conclusion. Catterall is no bum. He's no bum.
Yeah, don't sleep on the British boxer.
Shout out to my guy Robert.
Scotland.
Shout out to my guy Robert Sanchez out there in Austin, Texas. Good to see you, champ. He says, just to talk, I needed to get this slow ass day moving. Well, I'm glad, champ. I'm glad. We're going live in the afternoon because me and Pops gotta be somewhere tonight. We're going to the Panthers game tonight, the hockey game. So
yeah.
You know,
thank you so much for being
here. This is our
man.
line for today. Yeah. Jarius Smith. Jarius Smith's coming with the 45 heavy.
Yeah, he ain't playing.
He says, I hope Bum Love can retire soon. I can't stand that bitch.
You know what? I'm with you on that one because
let him talk to him, Pops. Let him have it.
GGG. He's fucking been on the welfare line. No disrespect to anybody getting that, and sitting there getting his free lunch. Sat around for almost 2 years, not doing nothing, and
waiting for Canelo.
And then the motherfucker, he's out here in South Florida. We want to get an interview with him. He don't even want to go see us give us an interview. So
well, I'm not even mad about that. I'm not even mad about that.
He's going on boxing scene saying, "Oh, I have the right thing for Canelo." You know what? I'm gonna like Canelo, but I'm still dreaming. If they fight, I want Canelo to send him to the fucking moon.
Why is that? It sounds like you're being very hateful and spiteful.
I was a big fan of Golovkin, but when I seen how he is now, he could have better fights in the last 2 years.
He could have did something.
He just sat on his ass waiting for the big fight. I hope Canelo sends him to fucking hell.
He won't fight Andrade.
I'm going for Canelo. You all Mexican fans sat around. I'm going for Canelo. I'm going for Canelo. Yeah,
it's that bad.
I want Canelo to go to that point. Yeah, I want Canelo to go in there and beat the fuck out of Golovkin.
Okay. All right. Pops letting the people letting GGG have it. You know, I wonder what the excuses will be when Crawford knocks out Taylor at 147. What excuse? I wouldn't give him no excuse. There's no excuse. I like both fighters.
Yeah.
I love to see the fight happen. No excuses. No dishonor.
Yeah.
Crawford destroys Taylor. Crawford ain't safe from Taylor. Y'all keep flapping your gums saying Crawford going. It's not. He's not even safe from Taylor.
Taylor's pretty big according to my.
It's a great. I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's a lot closer of a fight than people think.
Yeah.
Think. You know. But the boogeyman Andrade, you know, that's who Golovkin should have been fighting. The boogeyman Andrade.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, the most dangerous 140 is Gary Antoine Russell, and I'm so glad you brought it up because Gary Antoine Russell, man,
Pop one hand.
He's fighting. It's crazy, Pop. We got so much going on this week with like going to the show in Tampa, the game tonight. You know, the live. I completely forgot that Gary Antoine Russell's fighting Victor Posto this weekend. That's the co-main of Chris Colbert.
So we're gonna watch that too. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, the Iceman.
Yeah. I like Victor Posto, but to me, I think Victor Posto is little too old for that. But as far as
I don't know.
I must swing back to Gary.
I don't know if that's fair.
Gary Russell Jr. I wasn't giving him credit at all.
Junior, why come on Junior?
I mean that Junior. Yeah, I'm talking about the brother. What's the big one?
Gary Anton Russell. Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah, Gary Russell Jr. I'm talking about him because that's what you mentioned first. Gary Russell Jr. I wasn't giving him credit when he fought with that bad hand or whatever. But my word, if he had those two hands, he probably would have beat Magasawa.
I think he'd beat Magasawa. But listen, yeah, that you said Victor Posto's too old.
Yeah, I think he's too old.
No, absolutely not. Because you can't say that because the last time we saw Victor Posto in the ring, he fought Jose Ramirez, and he looked great against Jose Ramirez. I thought I might be in the minority, but I thought it was a close fight. I actually thought he did enough to win.
Let me ask you this question.
Victor Posto is still one of the best 140 pounders. Don't you come here disrespecting the Iceman pops.
Talent-wise, Victor Posto fought who?
Everyone.
Okay, fought Ramirez. Who was it?
Crawford, Ramirez, Taylor.
Who was the last fight against? We just
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Okay. Talent-wise, do you feel, and this is premature, do you feel that Antoine Russell, the one that's fighting Posto, does he have enough to beat Posto?
He does. Of course.
Okay.
But
I think Posto's too old. And I believe in experience, but I just think he's too old.
Yeah, and Johnny Boy and me are on the same accord. I remember.
What did you say?
I thought Posto beat Ramirez also. I thought it was close, but I thought he nicked it. Absolutely. And Johnny, that was the fight. I already didn't, before that fight happened, I didn't think that Ramirez could beat Taylor. But that was the fight that really
put him up.
I really went all in. I said Taylor is not losing to Ramirez under any circumstances. Mm-hmm. You know, Victor Posto that night looked like he was still one of the best 140 pounders in the sport.
Do you favor him against him?
Who? Russell?
Yeah. Because Russell predicting a knockout. And I like his style. I like his fighting too. And I ain't gonna lie, I like Russell's style too. I'm not saying he's gonna be a sleeper.
I'll say this: if Gary Antoine Russell knocks out Victor Posto, the star is born. Because Crawford didn't knock out Posto, Taylor didn't knock out Posto. Nobody he's been in there with the best. He's been there with Matisse.
Yeah.
He's been in there with Ramirez. He's been in there with the who's who of the 140 division.
And I'll be honest, this is the only time I contradict myself on that experience bullshit that I always say. I always say experience is the best thing against any other young fighter or whatever.
But now you don't want to do that.
But not this one.
How much of Gary? Okay, because
I watched enough.
How much have you even watched Gary Antoine Russell?
Two fights. I forgot which ones, but I've seen it with you. Or I watched it here. I've seen two of them. I like it, but I don't think. I mean, Posto's good, but I just think he's too old for me. I think he's too old. You're telling me he's not. I think he is.
We'll see.
But you're not saying he's washed up. No disrespect either.
He's not close to washed up. You're gonna find. He's not close. Vector says, "Have you guys seen the news about Munguia and Johnny Beck?" No. What happened with Munguia and Johnny Beck?
I haven't seen that.
Please do inform me. Let me see. Jaime Munguia.
Breaking news.
Hold on. You breaking me some news right now?
Let's see.
What's going on with Munguia and Johnny Beck? Is Munguia ready for Johnny? What's the news with Johnny Beck and Munguia? Help brother out.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what's going on with Munguia and Johnny Beck. Someone help me out. Is there anything going on with Munguia and Johnny Beck? You know, is Munguia going to fight a live body?
Hit that like button, please. If you haven't, subscribe, super chat, whatever you can do. It's going to help.
Let me see. But shout out to all 22 of you here joining us for this very spontaneous live right now.
What did Johnny say? Johnny said Posto got a chance?
I don't know. Well, Johnny, everybody in the comments can ask as well.
Yeah.
I can answer as well. What do you guys think about Victor Posto's chances against Gary Antoine Russell, and vice versa? What do you think about Gary Antoine Russell's chances against Victor Posto? Will G, shout out to him. He says, if the Benavidez fight don't happen for Andrade, what do you think about him going to 175 to fight Anthony Yarde for the WBO interim? That way, if Canelo drops a 68 title, it's his. If Canelo goes undisputed at 175, he would be next.
Anthony Yarde's 175?
Yeah, light heavyweight.
Wow.
He fought Kovalev, remember?
Yeah.
Going to 175. I mean, look, I'm
a lot.
I'm not against it, but the thing is, he hasn't even fought at 68. So you're asking him to put on 15 pounds and go up to 175 immediately. That's very unhealthy for a fighter. If I was Andrade and I wanted to go out to 175, I would try to get 2 fights in at 68 and gradually work my way up to 75. Okay. I wouldn't just go to 75 because that's not good on the body, you know. But I love it. Merlin 19 says, not a fan of GGG, but his career was completely derailed after that first Canelo fight. He was robbed out of what should have been a win in the first fight. People just glazed over it for Canelo. No, I always make it a point to say that Golovkin was robbed the first fight. The second fight, Canelo fought better. It was a little closer. So, I wasn't as mad for the decision in the rematch, but the first fight, Golovkin was screwed out of his glory in the sport, out of his just place in the sport. I'm fully with you on that. But in life, you can't sit there
and dwell
on the past and what didn't go wrong. Okay, yeah, you didn't beat Canelo, or you didn't get what you should have got against Canelo. Fair enough, but there were still other great fights out there for him. Like Andrade wanted to fight him. Charlo's been around the division. Fuck Munguia.
Okay,
but there's been fights out there for him. I just don't think we've seen the urgency from Golovkin since the Canelo fight. I think he's fallen out of level boxing, which I understand because I've been there myself. Like where you start spending time around the sport and things just
I think what happens is you also become complacent and you get tired of the politics, and it really burns you out mentally, not just physically. Take for example this weekend with Con even said I don't have the same hunger anymore. When you don't have the hunger for something, the passion for it, it's time for you to get out. And God bless to get out with his health. So, but as far as Golovkin, I think he's just been sitting there on this $18 million guarantee he's going to get from Canelo, and lo and behold, he might even get it.
He might, because he's one of the only fighters that has name value with casual fans, because he fought Canelo and they were really two exciting fights. So it is what it is, man.
I want Canelo to beat the fuck out of him. I'm sorry.
I can't believe that it's got to this point where I've done a complete roll.
And I don't hate nobody. I don't get angry, but for this, I'm really angry at Golovkin.
Yeah. Well, my guy, Johnny Boy. And by the way, shout out to everybody here. I know I'm missing some comments, but let me go to Johnny Boy's comment. He says, something my pops had to beat over my head repeatedly when I was younger was, don't dwell on the past. You can't fight every battle, buck up and move on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, turn the page.
We've all fucked up and had things that didn't go our way, but you gotta absolutely just move on.
Yeah, you can't. The what ifs could have happened. If it's already happened, you can't change it. It's just like time. You can't go back on time. The few minutes we're talking right now, we can't take 10 seconds back. Go for
it. JD Blanca, he said he's not buying this Josh Taylor hype. He says Postal beat Ramirez and Hank Lundy got robbed versus Cepeda, and people say Taylor's fought better people at 140. SMH Felix Diaz at 140 is better than anyone Taylor has. No, absolutely not. Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no. To the hell no.
Listen, Felix Diaz was good. Definitely a quality 140 pounder, but we're not going there. No. So you're telling me Felix Diaz is better than Regis Prograis? I'm not hearing that.
Next,
I'm not hearing that.
Next.
This is the same. This is the same Felix Diaz that was going, at 140. Adrian Canelo's damn near beat Felix Diaz. Some people think he beat Felix Diaz. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. I don't want to hear about Felix Diaz being better than. Wow. On what basis? Why? Because he won a gold medal. That don't mean shit in the pros. It means fuck all in the pros.
It helps you.
It helps, but so yeah, Johnny Beck. Hold on, where is he? What the hell is this guy's Twitter? Yeah, Johnny Beck's on his shit. Johnny Beck's talking this shit, saying that all these guys is easy work. He wants all the smoke.
You know what? For a long time.
You want to fight Andrade? Listen, I still want to see that fight. If Andrade can't get them big fights, I'm all with Johnny Beck Andrade if he can't get the fights. Munguia has been Andrade's mandatory for years. It's a shameless duck. The dude is overprotected. Wake me up when he fights someone live. It's absolutely.
He's right about that.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
They don't go them. Well, okay. I want to correct myself because shout out to Adrian Ramirez. He's probably not watching this right now, but Adrian Ramirez, he pointed something out to me. He says, BT, you need to stop blaming Golden Boy Promotions because Golden Boy Promotions isn't really his main promoter. You need to blame Miguel Beltran at Zennifer Promotions.
Oh shit!
So Zennifer Promotions,
yeah.
Stop protecting Chaim Munguia. All right, Zennifer Promotions.
He wants to fight GG next.
So he says, So maybe
after GG's waiting for this fight with Canelo, now he wants to talk.
Yeah. Merlin 1 says, not dwelling, but certain fighters aren't held accountable. I feel you though. No excuse for GGG moves after the fight, but in his biggest fight, he was, and I'll never take that away from him. He boxed a great fight. He boxed a great fight against Canelo. He had Canelo, who was a younger man, looking like the older man. Yeah,
and I think about that. BT said if GG would have just continued on and stay active until this fight, it would have been great.
Been great.
But because he sat back and just chill out, it doesn't look good on him.
It doesn't. And, you know.
It is what it is.
Where are the everyone fears? Andrade says, where are the fake Johnny Beck fans? I don't know, champ. I like Johnny Beck. I'm a real Johnny Beck fan, but you know, I don't know. People looking at Johnny Beck as the next hope. Munguia, there you go. You can always count my boy in boxing Magic Mexican side to hate on Demetrius Andrade. He says Munguia is 10 years younger than Andrade. I'm sure he'll have a better future than Andrade. Munguia will, the minute he steps up and fights a live body, he's getting the piss beat out of him. The minute, like the exact minute he fights a real live 60-pounder. You know, like put him in there with Johnny Beck. Put him in there with
Zach Parker,
Chris Eubank, Zach Parker. Well, no, Zach Parker 68. Oh. Chris Eubank or Eubank. Make that shit happen. You know, this dude always trolls. Got a better future than Andrade. And because nobody wants to fight Andrade, Andrade gonna fuck around and retire undefeated. BT, do you think Jorge Linares is a Hall of Fame because of resume and title fight record deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? And do you think he just misses? He's not a Hall of Famer. No. I like Linares. I admire what he's done in his career because he got knocked. Like Linares, along with Amir Khan, has the worst chin in boxing. You know, great hand speed, bad chin. But go ahead. And
I would not switch up. I'm comparing the same way. I might be wrong. Linares, how he is with resume, but look at Gabe Rosario. He fought some killers in his resume too. And would I consider him a Hall of Famer? You know what I'm saying? So I'll switch it back to Linares.
No. Linares has been champion. Yeah. He fought the who's who.
I think he's too old. I think he needs to go. He's done.
I'm saying, do you think he's Hall of Famer?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, look, he did a great job turning his career around. I give him that.
God bless him.
But he just been like he's failed too many times in the big fights.
Yeah.
I think he's in the Hall of very good. I think he's a very good fighter, but I don't think he's in a Hall of Fame.
I would give him with flowers, but not
listen. If the Zaru Abdullah fight is his last fight, you know, I want to tip my cap to Jorge Linares on a hell of a career. You know, I had a chance to watch Linares. I was there. Listen, I was there in person the night he fought Devin Haney and hit his ass with the hook and had Devin Haney doing the Macarena on the way to the corner. So, you know, I like Linares. Oh, hold on. We got a super chat. Hold on. Let me go down. Shout out to my guy. Where is it? My guy, Rafael Calvo, my main man.
Not Rafael.
Hey, where is he at? Yeah. Why isn't it on the screen? There you go. He says, respect the TSS family. Well, yeah, I've been getting your text messages, Raf. I've been meaning to respond. It's my bad, bro. I've been like crazy busy. But yeah, hey, Raf, I'm gonna be in Vegas in like March 7th, around March 7th, like second week of March. Second week of March, I'll be in Vegas. So we'll get up soon. But you know, listen. I forgot to play it earlier before I read the message, but you know when the super chats come out, so does Don King. So Don King, talk to the people.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun. You don't live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. It don't matter whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll.
Good times roll, and let them roll. We're here on True School Sports.
Thank you so much, Ralph.
Shout out to you, Raf. I'll see you soon in Vegas, champ. God bless you. Let me see. Most people are jealous that Mexicans run boxing.
No, I'm not jealous.
We're not jealous, and Mexicans don't run boxing. Nobody runs boxing. There's great fighters from everywhere. There's great fighters from America. There's great fighters from Mexico. There's great fighters from no. I'm sorry. I have to cut you off. Puerto Rico is not that good right now.
Right now, but what I just said. Puerto Rico was good, but they're down now. But we don't hate on nobody. We're not hating on nobody. So I mean, the issue you might justify that because we always say Canelo, but we're saying he just got 500. But we're not going to get into that. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to all the fighters.
Munguia stays fighting patients who from the cuckoo's nest. Yeah. Munguia need to step it up. Andrade's been around for years and still hasn't done shit but win vacated belts. He's had all your favorite pussy boy fighters duck him, like Canelo and Munguia and Charlo and all them guys. You know, so clearly, you know, if the manager of Benavidez says that they need a retirement check to fight Andrade, he's got to be somewhat good. He's got to be at least decent. You know, surely, if he was a bum, he wouldn't have won 32 fights. You know, BT, when I hate when certain boxing fans, because of their hatred for Canelo, bash wins against GGG, Kovalev, Cotto, saying those three guys are past it by the time Melo fought them. Well, as far as Cotto was coming off the win against, he wasn't that far removed from the win against Sergio Martinez. So the Cotto win was a good win. And factor in that when he fought Cotto, Canelo wasn't as good as he is now. I still think he was the same like fighter as far as his tendencies. but I don't think he was as polished as he is now.
Right
he was less polished when he fought Cotto.
Yeah.
So I thought the Cotto one was a good win. Kovalev, I'd rather not talk about that fight just because I have my opinions on it. It's controversial, but
screw him.
Golovkin, listen, the first fight, I thought Canelo got his ears boxed off. He was huffing, puffing, blowing his house down like the big bad wolf. In the fight, GGG outboxed him. He was lucky to get out of there without getting a loss. But then the rematch, you got to give Canelo at least some credit because in the rematch, he changed his whole game plan up. He stepped right to Golovkin and he fought he went in there and fucking fought. So I'm not gonna throw salt on him. Let me see. Milan says the fighters know each other. They know who is legit. I know what Demetrius Pierce think about him. Fighter has been knowing Andrade. Listen, and I'm right there with you. I know what his peers think. You know exactly what they know what he can do. Boxing's a small world. They know what he can do.
And the program, remember, check out Brendan's premiere with Paul Andrade.
Absolutely. Hey, sure. What happened with the Derevyanchenko and Andrade fight, bro? HBO didn't want to put the money up for it. And Andre Rozier, there's an interview with Andre Rozier who was training Derevyanchenko at the time. He even said, "Look, the fight didn't happen because of HBO and whatever." He basically said that Andrade didn't duck Derevyanchenko. That's a false narrative, and he debunked that in the interview. But it's you guys got to go search the truth out for yourself. I can't just go ahead and tell you. You gotta
see for yourself.
Eddie Morales says, "What's up, BT and Pops? Thanks for all the content these past couple months. It's been tough for me to let the good times." Well, listen, man.
Thank you.
We've had tough times ourselves, champ.
Hard.
And tough times don't last. Tough people do, and that's
right.
that's a message to everybody out there. Like tough times don't last. Tough people do. So listen, if life is taking a big shit on you right now and shit ain't going your way, there's a brighter day ahead. You just gotta take your lumps. Keep pressing forward, keep on moving, and eventually you'll have your time.
Everything is just temporary.
Everything's temporary, and even the good times, that's why I enjoy the good times because I know that you will have to come down at some point.
So just keep your head up and put the trust in God, and you'll be fine.
And that's a message to everybody. You called Canelo a pussy. Well, when it comes to the subject, he's not a pussy when it comes to everybody else. He's a hell of a fighter. He'll fight anybody. But when it comes to the subject of fighting Demetrius Andrade, I stand by my words. But again, I'm trying not to talk about Canelo versus Andrade because I beat it like a dead horse.
And then this year,
I'll only talk about it if you guys keep bringing it up.
And this year, we will give flowers to Canelo, give him his respect due. So don't come here just with the same narrative consistently. Talk about something else.
Let me see. Shout out to my guy, Johnny. He says, let's face the facts, BT. If Canelo fought Helen Keller, some of these guys are going to cream their pants and call it a legendary win. Well, no, you know what? I noticed that. I got to be honest. I've noticed that. I've noticed that when Canelo fights these guys like Smith and Plant, people say before the fight that these guys are not that good, right?
You were talking about...
They're not that good. They're not that good.
All of a sudden...
But then when Canelo beats them, they say... They raise their eyebrows and they say, man, Canelo beat another undefeated champion. But you were just calling him a bum.
Yeah.
Like that's why I want to get to the place in boxing, at least on this channel, where we don't call fighters bums. We understand there's levels in boxing. We understand there's C level, B level, A level. We can recognize fighters for what they can and can't do.
Don't have a double.
But I'm not going to sit here and say this guy's a bum and that guy's a bum.
Don't have a double standard narrative. When you shoot the record tells you.
Now, JBFQ says WBO just ordered Munguia versus Johnny Beck. They have 10 days to agree. If not, goes press. Finally, we get to see him in a tough fight. Well, look, call me pessimistic. I don't think we'll ever see Johnny Munguia in a tough fight. But listen, I love that fight. Munguia, credit to him. He's been improving a lot under the guidance of Eric Morales. I'm not going to be a hater and sit here and because he's not fighting Andrade. No, he's improving.
Yes.
And because he's improving, it's actually a compliment that people shouldn't look at it as I'm disrespecting Munguia. They should look at it as, man, BT thinks Munguia is so good that he should share the ring with the top guys at 160. Because I think that's where he belongs. I think Munguia is a fun fighter to watch. I think he's got the skills, but I'm sick of fighters getting passes. We're not doing that this year or any year. But Johnny Beck would be a good fight. I don't know if Xander for Promotions along with Golden Boy will want to make that fight because Johnny Beck, he's not as awkward as Andre, but it's kind of like the same thing. A southpaw who's physically strong, can punch like a mule. Do they really want those problems in their life? I'm not so sure, but fingers crossed it could happen. Merlon 1 says, BT unpopular opinion, Canelo is the same fighter. We just don't realize it because he carefully chooses fights to cover up his limitations. Well, look, I've said the same thing before. I think his tendencies are still the same. But I will say he's improved. He became a smarter fighter in that ring. He still does the same thing he did when he fought Cotto and Floyd, but he's become a smarter fighter. He's changed a couple things. He's tweaked a couple things. But yeah, you are right when you say he's pretty much tendency-wise the same fighter. He's just smarter. He's more polished. But that being said, I hope he beats Golovkin if they fight. Cinnamon, Golovkin, biggest cherry pickers and frauds in boxing. Yeah, they should have been fighting other guys. Did Canelo ever beat any young fighter in his prime? The dude doesn't want to fight Benavidez, Bivol, or Beterbiev. Well, I would love all those fights, but, listen. He beat the guys that are put in front of him except Floyd, so I'm not gonna hate on nobody. Shout out to him. Ask a Canelo fan who are the best wins of his opponents at 168, and they won't answer. Well, the best wins of his opponents. Yeah. You can't. I know most people can't even tell me who Billy Joe Saunders beat to become champion at 168. You know what? I'll give you guys 15 seconds. Can anybody within the next 15 seconds tell me who Billy Joe Saunders beat to become WBO? Do you know? I bet you don't even know.
My mind's fucked up, so I won't know. I can't remember what's 5 seconds from now. I probably know, but that second, but I'll forget right away.
Your answer to the question is Sufi. She fought a Sufi. That's who he beat for the belt. That's who he beat. BT and Pops, as boxing fans taking your criticisms away by the time Canelo's, do you think he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer? He's going to, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not.
The facts are there.
He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer just on the basis of the names he's beat, the depth of his resume, and the amount of money that he's generated at the gate. He gonna get in just on that alone.
Yeah.
Straight up. Gotcha, fellas. God bless BT and Pops. Cheers to the chat. All right. God bless you, Johnny. Take care.
Follow that. You guys subscribe to that channel.
When Canelo beat Rocky, they said Canelo was ducking the real chance 168 like Smith, Plant, and Billy. Now they got beat. They say they was cherries. I wasn't saying that. I was calling Rocky feeling a fucking cherry pick. He was a cherry pick then. He's a cherry pick now. I never thought Callum Smith could beat Canelo. Like maybe the other channels, other people thought that. I want you to go back, Boxing Magic Mix site. Check my receipts. They're there. You can see what I was saying about all these fights before they happened. I made a video before he fought Smith, and I literally said it's one of the biggest mismatches of 2020. And everyone was like, no, Callum Smith is the number 168. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not better than Caleb Plant. I even said Caleb Plant will give Canelo a more competitive fight than Callum Smith did, and that was proven to be true, even though the result was still the same. They both lost. For a guy that was supposedly on steroids, Canelo does sure have average stamina, while a super clean fighter like Pacquiao has incredible stamina while being a part-time boxer. Well, things that make you go, Canelo, who knows, man? Maybe Canelo's not on steroids because he did take the hair follicle test. Maybe he's not on steroids. Listen, I just want to see these fights, man. Make them happen. She fought Usufi. That's who Billy Joe fought for the title.
That's a crazy name.
They're running around saying Billy Joe could beat Andrade, but they don't even know who the fuck he beat for the title. At 68.
Crazy.
El Jefe said Andy Lee. No, Andy Lee was at 160. That was when Billy Joe was truthfully Billy Joe at 160. Who wins a fight between Joe Calzaghe and Canelo? That's a hell of a fight, man.
Yeah.
I think that fight would go either one of two ways. Either Canelo would break down Joe in the middle rounds, or I think Joe would outwork Canelo, because Canelo has shown at parts of his career to have stamina issues. I think Joe would have the stamina and the work rate to beat him. So that fight would go one of two ways, but it'd be a hell of a fight. I've only ever seen you say something bad about Canelo when it includes Andrade. Everything else you gave him credit. Well, yeah, no, he's a great fighter. I'm not saying he's not a great fighter. Listen. That's my only knock on him. I've said it many times, and I'm trying to say it less because, like I said, I'm moving on from it. But I've always said if he doesn't even have to beat Andrade. What my notebook at? What my notebook at? You guys hear this shit? What my notebook at? He don't even got to beat Andrade. Look, he don't got to beat him. He don't got to lose to him. He don't got to get a draw. The result of the fight doesn't even fucking matter if you fight Andrade. Yeah. Do you know what Canelo has to do to fight Andrade to get my respect? 100% is literally just
win or lose. Who cares? Win or lose.
A contract.
Yeah, that's it. Win or lose. Who cares?
Just like that, he gonna get my respect.
Yeah,
straight like that.
Support it. We just like
Let me see. Unpopular opinion, but I rank Usyk ahead of Canelo on pound for pound rankings. I do too. I got Usyk pound for pound number 1. right now. That's my number one guy. You know, let's be real. Canelo was never gonna go for undisputed 168 until Benavidez lost his belt on the scale. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think Canelo will beat the shit out of Benavidez if they fought. I think Benavidez is one of the most overrated, protected fighters in the sport.
Benavidez will beat the fuck out of Canelo.
Benavidez, listen.
I'm a big Benavidez.
Go ahead. Benavidez is just American behind Munguia because that's what he is.
Hell no.
That's what he is.
You can't put
Benavidez.
You can't put Benavidez same.
Benavidez is just American.
Hell no. That I will argue all day.
Listen, Benavidez is just how you say Munguia in English.
No.
Listen. David Benavidez is just how you say Munguia in English.
No, hell no. He's a bigger dog. A live dog that wants to fight the big fights, and he's chasing the big fights.
I don't know,
Something that Golden Boy has not done with Munguia.
I don't know, man. I never seen Chaim Munguia go life and death with the Ronald Graville caliber fighter.
Hey, how about both of them face each other at 168?
I don't know.
How about both of them face each other at 168? Because Munguia
is Benavidez really better than Munguia?
Damn right.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about that.
I'm a big fan of Benavidez.
Maybe he was better than Munguia that fought at 54. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Benavidez with Morales? No. I like the Munguia. I like the Eric Morales trained Jaime Munguia more than
Munguia. I like his style now. Don't get me the way he's fighting. But guess what? I'm still gonna take Benavidez. I will stay still take Benavidez.
I like Munguia more than I like Benavidez.
Okay, whatever. They need to fight each other.
Let's be honest. I feel Canelo destroys Boo Boo if that fight happens. Nope, absolutely not. That's why I want to see the fight in the first place.
Everybody have answers and everything, but that's all ifs until it happens.
Yeah. Let me see. Come on, BT. David is better than Munguia. I'm not so sure. He was, but there was a point in time. There was a point in time where he was clearly better than Munguia, which was when he was at 154. Right. But the Eric Morales Munguia,
I don't care. He can bring it to Benavidez. He bring it to break him up.
He got a gift decision against Dennis Hogan. He did get a gift decision against Dennis Hogan, and I've said that plenty of times. I've made it a point to drive that home plenty of times. But freaking, you could say the same thing about Ronald Graville. That's why Benavidez had to give Ronald Graville a rematch. Dennis Hogan Dennis Hogan at 154 is better than Ronald Graville at 168. I don't want to hear it.
We just gotta get both of them in the ring. Okay, that's what we need to do.
I bet you David wouldn't take the fight.
I bet you he will.
I bet you they wouldn't.
I bet you he will.
I promise you they wouldn't.
You know how much money that'll be generate? Both of them?
It wouldn't happen. It would never happen because of what's the fuck boy's name? Lukowitz, yeah. Canelo destroys Andrade. Wait, Clownello destroys. Make the fight. It's all fun and games until the contract is signed. BT, I'm going to use a comparison. You always see top teams in football struggle with the team they shouldn't put play up the competition. Maybe that happens with boxers. It does. It happens with most boxers. It's only a few boxers that fight at the same high level every fight, like your Pacquiaos, your Floyds, your Chocolatitos. Some guys are special. Most fighters fight up and down to the competition. But what I'm saying is,
Canelo's.
If Benavidez is better than Munguia, it ain't by much. They're the same bracket to me.
Oh my God! How can you say
at a time?
That,
there was a time where I think Benavidez was way ahead of Munguia, but Munguia with Morales, I think, has improved a lot.
He has improved, but he's not beating Benavidez.
I'm not even saying he beat. I'm saying they're the same bracket to me. They're the same, and Benavidez is just it's English for Jaime Munguia. They're the same to me. They're the same.
Lord help you.
They both got the same thing in common. They both ducked Demetrius Andrade. You can't argue that one.
Okay. I got Benavidez no matter what.
The only difference is Benavidez is in the media saying, yeah, you know what, for those guys, man, I'll pull their fucking pussy up, put them in the hospital.
Listen, I believe that I'll put it like this. Benavidez would fight anybody if he didn't have an idiot promoter behind him. He's calling the fights, he's going out there doing the same thing, but because of the promoters, these fights are not happening. But I think he's a dog. He's a bigger dog than goddamn Munguia. Munguia he looked good in this fight, but I think he needs to move up. I think he was weight. People say he's not weight trained. I think he was weight trained. He needs to move up to 168.
Merlon one says he says I agree with Pops on this one. Canelo's gassing against David. If Canelo can't stop David inside 6, David beats Canelo in my humble opinion. It's a bad match for Alvarez. Well, you don't gotta worry about him going past the 6th round because it's not going past the 6th round. Benavidez is gonna be sprawled out on the canvas.
Oh, guess who?
Canelo. Benavidez is gonna find that little high guard, and Canelo's gonna touch him, dip down, hand out the rib dinners.
Take the body shot. big, tall, strong guy that brings it to Mexican style, and he's gonna take it.
Listen, it's getting to
it's
such
gonna be a great fight, but
it's getting to such a point in boxing.
Okay, but
it's getting
we don't know what's gonna happen.
Getting to such a point.
What's gonna happen because Canelo don't want to fight Mexican fighters.
It's getting
so. But I'm gonna tell you now. If Canelo fights Benavidez,
I'll tell you
Benavidez is coming.
Zoro better than both.
Benavidez is coming.
Zoro's better than both of them.
Then who?
Gilberto Ramirez better than Benavidez and Munguia. Yeah.
I like Zoro, but I'm taking Benavidez. I'm still sticking with Benavidez.
You're a fool.
He's a freaking dog, a young lion that wants to prove himself.
Boxing
he didn't lose his belt in the ring.
Y'all want to know? Y'all want to know how fucked up
because of his discipline.
Y'all know how fucked up boxing is so fucked up that it's getting to a point where I'm starting to not even dislike Canelo anymore because there's so many more overrated fighters than Canelo. Yes, Canelo has.
Don't tell me he's overrated.
Super overrated.
He's not overrated.
One of the most.
He might be the champion that lost his belt
because
he wasn't disciplined outside the ring, not inside the ring. When Benavidez gets you in there,
Benavidez isn't even an A-level fighter. He's not even an A-level fighter.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it.
We're going to go all night with this, so.
Like,
I'm a big Benavidez fan, so I'm going to stick with Benavidez.
He's not even an A-level fighter. You over here gassing up the B-level guy.
He ain't no damn B-level. What you got in your mind? Munguia's a B-level fighter.
They're both B-level fighters.
No, Benavidez is a beast. I'm big on Benavidez. I'm sorry.
Like, you can say what you want about Canelo. At least he's A-level.
Yeah. We know. You're right. And I say that, but I will still take it. There's a reason why Canelo's not picking Benavidez in these fights. If he was a B, C level, whatever you want to call it.
Andrade's father said Benavidez senior call and they agreed on fighting each other. Yeah, I think they have. So we'll see what happens. But see, the thing is, the issue ain't them. The issue is not Andrade. I don't think the issue is Andrade. I don't think the issue is Benavidez. I think it's Samson Lukowicz, Al Heyman, and all parties involved on that side. So Benavidez versus Andrade be fight of the year. It's a hell of a fight.
Oh yeah.
Canelo should take Charlo and Benavidez fights next and move up to 175 and then Bivol up a bit. It makes no sense to fight Bivol 175 and drop down to 168 to fight GGG.
I think eventually Canelo's going to stay one weight class and
I think Canelo.
He's not keep moving up and down. You think so?
Yeah, I think Canelo is going to fight GGG and Bivol at 168. I don't think he's fighting Bivol. I personally don't think he's going to fight Bivol at 175.
Well, how old is Canelo right now? 35, 30 something. I don't think he can keep jumping.
Shout out to Charlie. He says, you love the Florida Panthers. You're damn right. The greatest show on ice since Disney on ice. Thank you, Charlie.
Charlie, we need to come see you.
Yeah. David Morrell is better than Benavidez. And shout out to my guy, Bon Quick. He says, bonjour, brother.
He's good.
I agree.
He's a young, upcoming Cuban fighter, very talented. But I'm sorry, he will not beat Benavidez. I'm trusting my own eyes. He is not beating Benavidez. I'm telling you now. He's a great upcoming Cuban fighter that stepping up to the plate. He will fight, but he's not beating the dog out of Benavidez. Benavidez was a world champion inside that ring. Will still be considered a world champion. He lost his belts outside the ring. Until Benavidez gets defeated by top competition, there ain't nobody taking that Canelo, not Devin Morrell, and so forth and so forth.
Yeah. Old Kovalev was just winning rounds with just a jab. He was. And speaking of Kovalev, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kovalev saying he want to fight a couple fights at cruiserweight and win a cruiserweight belt. So what do y'all think about that? Kovalev.
I lost all my respect for
cruiserweight.
I lost all my respect for Kovalev after the Canelo fight.
BT question: do you think Canelo backs up Benavidez up to stop him inside 7 rounds? Yes, I do. Or he might not even have to. Honestly, I could see Benavidez because Benavidez only fight one way. He'll come with a little high guard. He can do all that bullshit. Canelo is gonna pick, slip. Right to the ribs.
Canelo will not break
right to the ribs.
Canelo will not break that man.
Benavidez is gonna be sprawled out on the floor. He's gonna be sprawled out on the floor.
When there's fire on, he can knock Cherry too. And he's fighting a taller, stronger, bigger man than he is. It's not going to be easy fighting for Canelo. It's not going to be.
Boxing is fucked up when I'm sitting here rooting for Canelo.
Benavidez will take Canelo to hot waters and beat him.
Yeah. Oh man! Shout out to my guy. Is this the Artman boxing or is it Hyro Chong? I think
you don't know.
I'm not sure. He said. It's okay. Well, hold on. Before I get to the super chat, we gotta pay our respects. Yeah. When the super chats come out, Don King comes out. So Don King, talk to him.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun. You don't live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. It don't matter whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll.
So he says, shout out to Artman Boxing for the super chat. He says Davis is the real WBA champion. Free Charlo. How on God's green earth is Davis the real WBA champion? First of all, Davis beat Barrios for the belt, who didn't have the real belt, And Barrios, when he won the belt, got a get decision anyway against the Russian dude. So I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you, Artman, because there really is no reason to agree or disagree. It's just fact. Josh Taylor is the undisputed guy at 140. I don't know.
I'm gonna stop playing with. God bless you. Thank you for the.
Someone said. I think that's a fake Artman page. I don't know, champ. But either way, whether it's Artman or Hiro, God bless Artman and Hiro, because Hiro be making these trolling accounts, you know. But
laughing his butt off.
You see, Pops, why is there a double standard with Floyd and Manny? There was no evidence of Manny taking steroids, but there was video evidence of Floyd blood doping.
What was double standard?
Yeah, because they're saying that people say that Manny Pacquiao's on steroids, but there was no evidence. But when Floyd, you know, he got a TUE, a temporary use exemption to get a bunch of things injected into him. So why do you think that is? Someone in the comments.
I'm gonna put it like this: money talk, bullshit. What? Basically, a lot of the fights, and I'm not trying to discredit the TBE. I'm just saying a lot of the fights from Mayweather always been where in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? The commission, the this and that. He gets a free pass for this, got a free pass for that. So that's what they had with Pacquiao. Pacquiao had some kind of shoulder injury.
I don't believe that bullshit. I don't believe that. I don't believe that bullshit.
You don't believe that?
He was raising his arms with the weigh-in like this. Yeah. If you watch the weigh-in, go watch the weigh-in. Go listen. I love Pacquiao. Listen, I love Pacquiao. But go up. But he raising his arms at the weigh-in.
Hey man, money talks BS. We know what the deal is.
Boxing Magic Mexide says, where's the link for the video? Which one? What video are you referring to, Boxing Magic Mexide?
You're talking about Pacquiao washing his hands?
Are you talking about the Callum Smith video with Canelo? I'll stop this whole live right now and I'll go get that video for you. Just so you can understand how much I hated that fight when it got announced. Just so you know how little of a chance I knew Callum Smith didn't have in that fight, because Callum Smith got a gift decision against John Ryder, the real Ring Magazine lineal 168 champion.
That's a fight.
I'd rather see Canelo fight John Ryder than half the guys he fought at 68. Being honest,
Canelo and John Ryder, they're both same height.
Oh yeah, it was Hiro. Hiro said you gave Artman the wrong Don King video. Give him the real Don King video. You mean this one, champ? This one, Don King talked to
anybody and everybody. That's what he wants. That's the dream. Though you got to work to fulfill that dream. You can't get it by conversation. You get it by action. And I love Trevor, so I want to make certain that he.
Yeah, action. Listen, man. Hey, Pops just reminded me of something. So I wanted to say this. Happy anniversary, right? Happy anniversary to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder and our good friends over at the LDBC. If you guys forgot, let me be the first to remind you. On this day 2 years ago, Tyson Fury beat the living shit out of Deontay Wilder and then was accused of having padding and all these things in his gloves and egg weights. So, happy anniversary from me, Pops, and Tyson Fury himself. So Tyson Fury, let them know about the anniversary of today from 2 years ago when you beat up Deontay Wilder and knocking him all over the MGM Grand.
Happy anniversary to me! It's been 2 years since I busted Deontay, the big old docile excuse maker Wilder. Sucker!
Yes, happy anniversary, guys. And look, I remember when that fight happened. A lot of people were saying, I remember going against the fight. People were like, yeah, the long count. And I remember Tyson Fury said what he was going to do. He told them, he said, he hired Sugar Hill Stewart. I'm going to fight the way God made me to fight. I'm going to walk you down. I'm going to stop you. And he said, he got pillows in his hands. And then Fury proceeded to beat the living shit out of him. And then he has suffered from delusions of grandeur. Illusion of grandeur, and he talking about egg weights and the Breland and the snake of a coach and all this. So, I just wanted to remind you guys, because if you think we forgot, we still haven't forgot. I like Wilder, I respect Wilder, but happy anniversary.
Yeah, shout out to Wilder. God bless him his journey if he's going to come back.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to me. It's been 2 years since I busted Deontay, the big old docile excuse maker Wilder. Sucker!
Yeah, so hey, we can't forget about certain moments in time in boxing. So I'm glad Tyson Fury reminded the world today on social media, because
the big fight
I would have forgot.
Yeah.
Is Kell Brook moving up to 160? Should Kell Brook retire? I would have zero problem if Kell Brook retired.
Yeah, I think to me, I think
go ahead.
to me, I think he's done enough in boxing for himself. He got the the demons that he had as far as the conflict, all the questions, all the pressure. Put that too close. Put it in the coffin. Retire. I think I like what he said on Instagram when he said he told the old boy to go 155 or don't even mention my name. I'm talking about Eubank. All of a sudden, Eubank.
Fuck that fight. Like, why are we talking about
Ben? Another one. Oh, I want to really fight. Get the fuck out of here, Ben. You can't even fight 147 pounds. You want to fight this? Get out of here with that shit. Yeah. I think Cowboy should go to Limelight. He got respect with Count. Count respect him at the end. Move on.
Absolutely. Merlon one says, out of respect for Pacquiao, let's not discuss doping. A lot of suspect stuff surrounding Manny trying to equate Manny to Floyd is laughable. Pac-Man don't want to open that Pandora's box. Listen, man, they're all on that shit. Most of these guys at the top level that fight on pay-per-view, most of them, I'm not gonna say all,
they're all,
but most of them are on that shit. Doesn't mean that they're not great fighters and like that, but yeah, Manny, I think Manny and Floyd are both on it.
Listen,
how about that?
Manny's great, Floyd's great. Manny's retired, Floyd's retired. Move on.
Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't. How can Wilder compare himself to Ali? I never compared Wilder to Ali. I thought that was laughable. I've always compared Deontay Wilder. I thought Deontay Wilder was actually closer to Michael Grant than he was Ali. He turned out to be better than Michael Grant, but like he's closer to him than he is Ali. Michael Grant, the '90s contender, long, rangy boxer puncher, was doing great until he fought Lennox Lewis. Then Lennox Lewis sparkled.
What do you can't argue about the Bronx Bomber? He's got a devastating right hand. That's fact. He had one of the most lethal, devastating right hands in boxing, heavyweight boxing. Don't everybody forget about it.
Hyro says, man, I want the old Fury. I want Too Fast, Too Fury. You got people like Art, man, talking about Wilder getting robbed of a knockout. Yeah.
This guy's a clown, man. Hyro. I love you.
Oh, snap. Speaking of Sergey Kovalev, he's back. Hello, BT. I moved to cruiserweight.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Hey, champ, I'm looking forward to seeing what you could do. Listen, but make sure you stay away from Isaac Chamberlain because you go up there and fight Isaac Chamberlain. That's gonna be your last fight, champ. Yeah, don't fight Isaac Chamberlain.
I lost respect for Kovalev. Whatever he does with him.
Hey, I want to see him at cruiserweight. Kovalev will make cruiserweight interesting. You know, Kovalev will make cruiserweight interesting. Don't tell me you would be more excited if he was there.
See my comment, right?
He said I got no comment. Pops ain't got no comments. But shout out to everybody here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Definitely take the time to subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll go for like 10 more minutes or so, and we'll get off because we're not making this a 2-hour live today. This is just a short live to keep the streets fed, and then we'll be back on our normal schedule tomorrow.
Thank you so much for being here.
Get your questions in though. Anything goes.
Don't ask Harold that. He'll come up.
Yeah, Harold also asking
all the crazy stuff.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Wilder blamed his own coach and then fired him. Mark Breland deserved better.
Yeah, that's one thing I would have to agree with 100%. You got some time whether you have failures in life.
That's old news, though.
But he's just saying it. So take responsibility for yourself. But move on from that. Wilder's gone. Got over that. Moved on. He's going on a spiritual path. Decided he's coming back to boxing. And God bless him. That's what I'm going to say. Everybody got their own ways going to deal with things. So God bless him. And hopefully he'll come back to the heavyweight division. I think it'd be more interesting. And like I say, you can say whatever you want about Wilder. But one thing we're not going to say about him, that devastating right hand is lethal.
Pops, I'm gonna miss you, but when are you gonna get the chat to be uncensored? Talk, dude, talk.
You want me to go crazy?
He wants you to go crazy. He wants you to talk that shit.
I will, but not right now.
But not right now. Yeah. You can't manufacture Pops going crazy. It just happens when it happens.
You gotta buy me. I only have everybody batteries in my heart. You gotta give me some Duracell batteries.
Wilder is the worst heavyweight champion in box history. Do y'all agree? Absolutely not. Not even close.
Listen, man.
Hold on. Charles Martin. You got Charles Martin. Well, who else is there? There's been a bunch of guys who have had titles, but I could say
Christopher Lovejoy.
He's not a real the GBO champion.
Yeah.
No, he can't be the worst because I know Charles Martin was worse than Wilder.
Yeah, and don't throw no salt on him. One thing you gotta agree with, he had the most devastating right hand in heavyweight boxing. You can't tell me no.
What do you think, Pops? What do you think would happen if Wilder fought AJ right now? Who are you picking in that fight?
Me?
Yeah.
AJ don't know what the fuck he wants to do right now.
Who would you pick?
I'm taking Wilder.
You think Wilder will win?
I don't care. I will take Wilder. I think Wilder's learned from all these fights. He's actually,
be nice if it actually happened.
He matured a lot in his own way. He's gonna have his issue, whatever. But I think him taking the past, what he's doing or whatever, that's giving him peace with himself. And if he can come in there with a clear mind and get everything out and get all those demons out of him, I think Joshua to me, prolonging a lot of shit, doing a lot of this and that, want to take $50 million for this and that, whatever he wants to do. I think he's just talking a lot of shit. He's made his money. I think Wilder will beat the shit out of him this time. And that'll be a great fight that needs to be made.
It's Wilder versus Joshua.
Yeah.
And because like people don't want to admit it, and people don't want to talk about it, but that's still one of the biggest fights in heavyweight boxing.
He couldn't let those punches go against Usyk, Joshua. What do you think he's gonna do against Wilder? Wilder, you say whatever what you want about Wilder, but Wilder will throw that right hand, and you better watch out, and he'll catch Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua
right now is to me until he's thrown me anything else. I want to see him fight Usyk, but I don't see. I still got Usyk beating him, and that's just me. If he don't let go of those hands, and that's one thing Wilder will do. He'll let go of that right hand.
Power is the last thing.
Wilder will let go of that right hand. Believe that.
Power is the last thing to go. So until we see otherwise.
We talking about
Wilder.
Joshua. Wilder's old. Wilder's young. About 30. How old Wilder?
Beating he took with Fury. Let me take you these fights with Fury.
Yeah, I understand that, but just think about it. If he beat Joshua with that right hand, knocked the shit out of Joshua, you think you'd worry about Fury back then? Don't forget about that. Boxing's a mental game too.
Yeah, man, they're setting up Roman Gonzalez. Man, why does he have to? Why does the fight have to be March? I believe Wilder will knock out Joe Louis that fought Ezra Charles. Yeah, Howard loves Ezra Charles.
I like Charles too.
Ezra Charles. He says Ezra Charles is like the 1950s like Floyd Mayweather, the way he fights. And Howard don't watch boxing in black and white. So
Howard, you gotta go. Howard, go to Rich the Historian and watch some of his boxing. He got all kinds of.
He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job.
His channel's moved up a lot. Go watch his stories about a lot of boxing, lightweight, heavyweight, and everything.
Vermaine Stavern is saying he wants a trilogy to avenge the last the Wilder loss from last time. You know, it's funny. Pops actually had a conversation with Stavern. Pop, when you talked to Stavern that one day at the gym, did Stavern mention anything about a Wilder trilogy fight?
He didn't say shit about me. He's happily married to his wife, and he moving on. I think that's a laughter if he actually came out and said that.
No, you're not saying that.
I don't think he said that. I don't believe it. I mean, I've talked to Stavern for a while. We actually became good.
Yeah, shit. I thought Pops and Stavern y'all did everything but go out for a drink.
Yeah,
man.
We did a pretty good. So yeah.
Because we were there. We were there. Me and Pops saw Stavern about a month ago at Stacey McKinley's gym because he was sparring Jared Bryan for Jared Bryan's last fight. So. Cholatito is going to school Martinez. Martinez, zero defense as. Yeah, man. Martinez, I was scared when the fight first got made because, you started buying the hype of some of these fighters. But then when I went back into the tape and I watched how Martinez actually fought, I felt a lot more confident now that Cholatito will beat him because he stays with his head right there on the line. He loads up with every shot. I can't see Cholatito not picking him off with something big. You don't box Usyk. You take it right to him. Usyk will run. You can't listen. If you take it to Usyk, he got power in them hands. You can't just run up on him and think you're not gonna get touch or something. So if you take it to him, you better be defensively responsible. You better be blocking, parrying.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I expected Joshua to do in that fight, to let go of his hands, and he didn't do that. And the movement that Usyk does in that ring is very difficult to just get him and hit him. I'm telling you that.
Hyro says, BT, the real Mexican card is happening Thursday and not some card in Tijuana on last Saturday. What card is that? Who's fighting on that card, Hyro? Who's the promoter? Is it the Roy Jones Jr. card you were telling me about? Is Roy Jones Jr. boxing back? I love me some Roy Jones Jr.
Because the last one we had, he was a joke.
That last one, Hyro.
They didn't know the fighters, they didn't know their names.
That last Mexican card we watched, Hyro, the pay-per-view.
Oh my lord.
The main event got canceled, and then they had a phone number on their website, and then Hyro had to call them and see if there was a fight. If the fight was still on.
The announcer spoke English, Spanish. They didn't know what opponent's name was, who was this, who was that. That was like the worst.
It was a shit show. It might have been the worst. Diamante, was it Diamante Promotions?
It sure was. I don't know.
Hyro said, "Yeah, it is Roy Jones Jr. Who's fighting Hyro? Like, name me the fighters on the card. I might check it out." Wilder's career is over, man. He's old. I personally think it is over myself.
You do?
Yeah. Usyk has more stamina than Wilder. I've always wanted to see that fight just because it's like the most technical boxing in the heavyweight division versus the least technical boxing in the heavyweight division. Yeah. So what gives? Is it about skills or is it about power? Usyk has been knocked out many times in amateurs from the body shots. Why don't these boxers take advantage of that? It's because a lot of these fighters, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I used to like Wilder when he was coming up as a fighter, but his personality changed so much later. Yeah, he used to be a nice, sweet country boy. Then, listen, we all go through our things in life where we get big-headed. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure some of you guys are guilty of it. But, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Let me see. Luis Ortiz is his biggest win. Luis Ortiz! I could have fought someone else, but I wanted to bless him with another opportunity.
They didn't want to fight Philip Hogan either. Another one.
Wilder had let the LDBC into his head. Yeah, they messed him up, champ. Yeah. Oh, that's the fight. That's a good fight. You know what? I'm gonna be in Plant City because we're going to the Pro Box promotion show on Friday. Pistol Pete Dobson versus Jose Miguel Borrego and a bunch of great prospects. I'll be covering that on Friday. But you know, Harold, I'm gonna watch that fight. That's a good fight right there. Quentin Randall versus Ivan Alvarez. Now I don't know much about Ivan Alvarez, but I know who Quentin Randall is. And Quentin Randall is a good technical boxer, but he can't punch for nothing. He's like 8-0 with 2 knockouts. Okay. He's managed by Peter Kahn.
Okay.
Alvarez, it's a Roy Jones Jr. card, so because I'm gonna trust Roy Jones Jr. boxing and trust that they managed to fight good because they have a pretty good track record when it comes to like their fights. So we'll watch it. Did you hear about Chino Maidana returning? Yeah,
I seen that, but he's fighting like a YouTuber from over there. I was reading about that, and I was like, yeah, he's fighting a YouTuber. He's doing the same thing that Jake Paul's doing over here, so I ain't with that.
Read my comment above. Is it true about Wilder eating dog food? I don't know. I don't know nothing about no Wilder
wants to be
eating dog food.
His own.
If that's what he does,
bless him.
Hey, it's got him a couple multi-million-dollar, so it worked.
And if he's got that punch right hand like a horse, then.
So but I don't know nothing about that.
I'm not gonna say all about it. Yeah. What they do outside the ring is not our business.
Yeah. Let me see. But look, guys, on that note, I'll read like 2 or 3 more comments, but we're going to start to wrap it up. On that note, guys, we're going to get up on out of here because me and Pops got to take care of some things before we go to the hockey game later on, the Panthers game, which I'm very excited about. Mm-hmm. Haven't been this excited in a while, honestly.
Game, yeah.
So we'll do that. But before we end the live, program reminder, we'll be live Saturday for the Josh Taylor-Jack Catterall fight. Big fans of Josh Taylor on this channel. We live for that, along with Chris Colbert versus Hector Garcia.
Postal, that's the fight.
And Gary Anton Russell versus Victor Postal on Saturday. So 2 live fight reactions Saturday. We're covering a fight on Friday in Tampa, in Plant City, a Pro Box Promotions, Pete Dobson versus Jose Miguel Borrego, 2 upcoming, welterweight fighters. It's a very good crossroads fight. You got Pistol Pete Dobson, the undefeated fighter, taking on Borrego, who's been in there with some good names in the 40-pound division, trying to make a name for himself at welterweight. So you got them. You got a lot of good prospects like Najee Lopez,
I'm big on
Casey Dixon. Yeah, you got who else? Kanat Islam, who's ranked in the top 15 of the WBO at middleweight. He might be a guy that gets a big fight soon. So that's a good card. Paulie Malignaggi will be there. Tarver. So you're gonna get a lot of interviews. I'm letting you guys know in advance. You're gonna get a lot of interviews. So
that is the appetizer until he goes to Las Vegas over there.
Let me see. What do you think about the WBO ordering Johnny Beck versus Munguia? Great fight. I just tuned in. Have you guys covered Fury versus White? What's up, Pops?
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about Fury versus White. To be honest, that's actually like the one thing
but show the video.
But you know what? Before we end the live,
so
we'll talk about this. We'll talk about White versus Fury in detail tomorrow when we have more time to. But I want you to enjoy the 2-year anniversary. The 2-year anniversary of Fury knocking out Deontay Wilder in the rematch. And look, here's a match from the G King himself to remind you.
Happy anniversary to me! It's been 2 years since I busted Deontay, the big old docile excuse maker Wilder. Ah! Sucker!
So on that note, you guys take care. Be blessed. We'll see you soon. Take care. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.